try of me making this video for the Pumpkin Spice Café by Laurie Gilmore. And I am currently on my second cup of coffee and a book about coffee. I really should not be having to drink it to make my way through the review, but here we are. The book is frustrating. I had originally got it after Quicksilver, figuring, listen, you can't really go wrong with coffee shop romance. I was kind of wrong. The entire thing is very forgettable. I'll be honest, I read it I think last week, and I went to reread it a little more recently to brush up on names and plot points and whatnot. And I really couldn't get through the first 3 chapters or so, and I'm like, okay, listen, that should be telling in and of itself of it. This book is just, it's boring. It is a very forgettable book. It's one of those that looks really pretty on the shelf, but otherwise it's not good. I'll give you a very basic plot rundown and then 1 or 2 comments, and it probably won't be a huge and dramatic review because honestly the book is neither huge nor dramatic, and I think that's one of the big issues is that there's like no drama here. But anyway, so we'll start with a very basic plot outline and go from there. So we have Jeannie over here, who she's 28, your standard normal girl working in, I believe it's Boston. She's a PA and walks in one day and her boss is keeled over dead. And so she kind of has a crisis of going, oh my gosh, in 30 years I don't want to be this guy. And her aunt goes, well, you're looking for a time to relax. I'm looking to retire. How about you take over my coffee shop over here in Dream Harbor? There's a little studio up above. You can live in it, and all you gotta do is just be there because there's already a guy there who's kind of running it, so you just need to be the owner. And Jeannie's like, okay, cool. I will reinvent myself and be this calm, cool coffee person and, adjust my life so I'm a lot less hectic. Because she is such a bundle of nervous energy and talkativeness that getting anywhere with her is it's fun. I mean, honestly, the author did a very good job of describing just an anxiety-ridden girl on her own who just saw her boss die. But anyway, she's kept up during the first week because something outside the building is making a lot of racket, and she's from the big city, so she's really worried that it's a burglar, it's a robber, it's a murderer, whatever. So she grabs a baseball bat, goes down the stairs to clobber someone in her PJs, opens the door, and oops, it's the meat cute. So she runs into Logan, and he's just there delivering produce for the week, and she's like, oops, I'm sorry, and he's like, oh my gosh, this chick is crazy. But she drags him in, gives him some coffee, and he can't help but go, aw, she's cute. She's talkative, which is a complete polar opposite of him, and she's cute. And so she's blabbering on about how she thinks it's either a murder or a ghost, and he's over here going, or it could be raccoons or teenagers. And so you get this real nice play back and forth. And finally he just goes, okay, how about you take it up at the town hall meeting tonight, da-da-da-da, and she ropes him into it and drags him to it. Which is kind of funny, I'm a talkative person married to a very stoic person, so I really see that in my relationship. And so we get over to Logan, who you find out is, his daddy left when he was a kid, his mama died when he was like 5. So the grandparents have raised him up on this little farm, and it's all cutesy and whatnot. And he fell in love last year with a girl from one of the big cities and the relationship was failing, and the guy decided to have a massive, dramatic marriage proposal underneath the big town Christmas tree on Christmas Eve. Which, I'm sorry, if any of y'all know anything, it's like when the relationship is failing, proposing is probably not the answer. Which I guess if you didn't know that, life lesson there. If something's breaking, a ring will not fix it. So anyway, Logan over here has all manners of trust issues because last chick, up and left him. But he's slowly falling in love for this overly talkative, crazy chick. So he goes to the town hall meeting, and the mayor, who's psychic or whatever, said, I have a dream and you should totally go and do a stakeout or help Jeannie with her problem. They agree on a stakeout. And there's like a lot of side characters, and the author's clearly setting up sequel books and sequel pairings. I mean, it's very, very obvious, but that's nothing too new. It's that this is what that type of book series is, and I wish I should probably quit clanking my ring against the glass, but it's satisfying. Anyway, they do the stakeout. It's all cutesy. It turns out to be a cat, and I'm like, okay, well, that's cute. They go on about their merry way. Except for things keep breaking and keep happening, and I'm like, ooh, a mystery. And that's where the book kind of starts going downhill. They have a few instances of, it's a little more of a slow burn romance. A few instances of kissing and, I think I like him. He thinks he likes her. Oh, but we shouldn't because she's trying to reinvent herself and he's trying to get over a heartbreak. And then all the town is like adopted Logan. So they're like simultaneously, don't you dare break his heart, but also y'all are totally cute together, so y'all should get together. And I'm sorry, it's one big hot mess that I just would have said, no, he's cute, but he ain't that cute. Anyway, a lot of stuff happens, and then come to find out, it was the manager trying to run her out of town so he could have the business, which I'll get to that plot line here in a minute. But, in it all, you have your standard third act breakup, because at first it's, oh, let's have a secret relationship, and then it's Jeannie going, oh man, secret relationships are okay, but I kind of want to be, in a real relationship. And then they get together, and Logan sees where the realtor lady has been trying to get her to sell the place, and instead of having an adult conversation along the lines of, hey, are you actually planning on moving? Oh no, the realtor just sent me those numbers over because she's really pushy. He goes, aha, I knew you were going to leave me, and breaks up with her, and she proceeds to have, kind of a mental breakdown because also her manager has just left, and which he doesn't know that part yet, but I think it's the next day that happens that she finds out. So she's already pissed off at being broken up with. And to her credit, she does throw his clothes out the door, which I would have done the same thing. But anyway, the next day she finds out that the manager's been sabotaging everything, because he is a bitter, jealous old man that the aunt didn't sell him the place, and he's loved the aunt, and turns out the aunt liked him, but that gets into my next frustration. And the aunt comes home, and, Logan realizes he's been a dick and has trust issues. He comes in and does this really loud announcement that, I love you, I'm gonna get better, da-da-da-da-da, and, they make up, and he totes her out into the lobby and announces his love to the town. He's like, woohoo, about time, and then goes back to drinking their coffee. And then later, the aunt comes down ready to chew the manager out for being a dumbass. And the manager's like, well, I'll pay for the damages. Oh, I love you. And she's like, yeah, I know you love me. That's why I didn't get to sell you the place so you'd retire with me. And I realize that I have just spoiled the entire book, so my apologies. There is more to the book, kind of, but also that's all there is. And this leads me into the next segment. So there are several issues with this book that I have. I'll start out with the smaller issue and then just work up into the bigger ones, which I guess there's not actually that many since it's not a big book. But one is the tendency for the author to shoehorn in just random politicalness that I don't think actually benefits the story. The book club, I think, is run by... I know there's at least a gay guy and I think a lesbian in there. And it just comes completely out of left field that they give Jeannie a gay romance novel. She flips through and goes, ooh, I kind of like that. And I'm like, it really doesn't fit with the story or what's going on, and it never really crops back up again. And the gay guy has a thing for Logan, of which I've been around enough guys who'd probably go, please just no. Which follows into Logan, which is actually one of my biggest problems, is if Jeannie is actually written really well as an understandable contemporary woman with, all the issues that girls normally face trying to make it in a big city, Logan is written as though she's never really had much dealings with men. Because, I married a farmer. I married a very stoic man. And I'm, kind of related to a couple more. And Logan here is just... he reads very odd. On one hand, he has some of the baseline personalities of guys. He's got the, I really want to be helpful. I really want to fix your problems. Let me just be there for you. And I like that. I've just read several dark and angsty, morally gray Shadow Daddy books. And so it's very nice to read a guy who's just legitimately a good guy. But the author then just kind of falls short on finishing it out. Like, he is a good guy, but he's still a guy, and at no point in the book does he really get the opportunity to just be a guy. I mean, he named his chicken Lizzo. And, I mean, it just doesn't read quite right. And then in the very end, he's not the one, he doesn't fix any problems. His character does not have a very good arc. If anything, it goes from grumpy and repressed emotions to, okay, I'm going to get therapy. But that just isn't a very satisfying thing. The entire ending isn't very satisfying. And we'll start with the fact that he did not actually help catch the problem. In fact, no one caught the problem. The manager just up and confessed his own self. And Logan at no point had a chance to step in and save or fix anything, and I just found that very disappointing. After the initial first chapter or two where they think it's a ghost and a haunting, it's like, he does not get a chance to actually do anything. And then that leads over to the manager over here, who he never gets a comeuppance. He gets forgiven by the women and taken in the aunt's like, well, duh, you idiot, I love you. And I'm like, okay, but does he not get anything for the fact that he's destroyed property and scared your niece and all this other stuff? No, it's just very much a letdown. And I think that's the majority of the video is just, the book has some it's good in the first little bit. It has a lot of awkward shoehorn politics in there. And then it just ends in a flop. They're together, but they don't get engaged. There's no moving in. It's just her moving into finally finishing unpacking from where she moved in a month ago. And I'm like, it's just... the relationship did not feel solidified by the end. It did not feel like the story wrapped up nicely. It felt like there was a good start and then the author just lazied out of it. I mean, you have this really cute town. You have some really cute setups for the next couple of books with some good personalities involved. I found I was getting those personalities mixed up. Like, there's a couple different characters there, and I really can't list them out or differentiate between them. It's like you have the baker trademark, you have the bookstore owner trademark, you have the guy who runs boats, and it's like you have all these character placeholders that are going to be used later on in other books. And I'm just like, it's just, there's not enough there. I personally did not like it. And I wish it could have been better. I mean, I was really hoping, since it was a fall cozy type of book, that there would be more to it, but it's not even strictly cozy. It has some of the trademark Hallmark scenes. I guess that's a good way to say it. This is a Hallmark movie shoved into a book with a bit less character development than a Hallmark movie. So if that's what you're into, then alright, cool. But if you're looking for something a bit more weighty, then I personally wouldn't recommend it. So I think my next book I'm going to review is Bride by Ali Hazelwood, and that'll be a good one for October. And here soon I will release my October library haul. And I'm really looking forward to getting like full bore into spooky season with y'all. So like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you like, what you don't like. And I will try to adjust to fit, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.